back to the hideout, I guess. Kind of a ballsy move, honestly.
That night 5 years ago, we destroyed what for many was a symbol of hope. For a reason they'll never know. We cannot blame them for thinking us the cause of their misery. Though it's to give them a better tomorrow, they see only that we've made their lives harder today. Yet the boil must be lanced if it is to heal.
Oh man.
I can't help but wonder if we've made the right choice.
Line of dialogue.
And Sid said that he wanted to create a world where we were free. Free to choose our own path. I honestly don't think it mattered to him if that choice was right or wrong. Only that it was our own.
I miss him.
A world where we can live and die as equals. That's what he wanted. What we want. And that's why I bear his name. It's why we've all chosen to bear his legacy. And I'm not going to let anything stand in our way.
Makes sense.
Rides over, lovebirds, home sweet home.
I mean, they're clearly super motivated by Sid dying. Even though Jill didn't really know him, that's kind of like an interesting thing. I guess she's just really moved by his position. So, this looked like it was just in the middle of the continent, but we're on water. Is this like a giant lake? I guess it must be, right? Home sweet home. Alrighty. I guess it's not the same hideaway now?
Otto was asking after you. Let's go and see him.
Unless it's just
Never a dull moment.
flooded completely?
Welcome back, Sid. Finish with that log so we can call it a morning. Almost done.
Interesting. Now I guess my question is this actually the same group of people who've all just decided to keep calling me Sid, or is it new bearers we recruited?
Otto will want to know what happened in Cosnus. I expect he'll be in the mess.
Cosmos, that's
Look, it's Sid.
Staying long this time?
So many people died the last time, though. I'm curious what that amounts to.
I don't know. Perhaps I should just have Blackthorn make me a new one.
Karen survived.
And what can I do for you? Well, you won't hear me complaining.
Even roomier than the old one was. Got my own stores, my own little counter. Thanks to you lot fighting the good fight, plenty of demand for me wares.
The only drawback
is the constant bloody racket. If it's not Doris and Otto barking their orders, it's Blackthorn and Bardolph banging away day and night. If pain in the ear holes is the price I have to pay to be Sid the Outlaw's partner in crime, I'd say I got myself a bargain. Has it really been 5 years since we left the old place? How time flies.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
We were all waiting to treat Sid to a hero's welcome when Kupka's lot turned up. Not that we knew it was them. They just poured in like the plague of rats, cutting down anyone and anything that stood in their way. Blood and bodies everywhere. There was. And a voice crying out for Sid to save us in the midst of it all. I'll never forget those cries, try as I might.
You're our leader now, Clive.
Promise me you won't let anything like that happen again. Promise me that come what may, Sid will save us.
If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it.
Charon's Toll has no new weapons. No new items, really. I just haven't really seen a reason to buy much stuff. Ooh. Channeler's Whispers automatically charges magic spells and maintains the charge until cast. That's crazy. I have 20,000 gil.
Is that all?
Oh, oops. I meant to go to the sell tab.
Is it business or pleasure?
Alright, sell. What can we do? Sell all valuables. It gives me 5,000. Okay. I don't want to sell too many things, though, because I don't know what's good or not. Breath of Fire, Heat Wave. Increases limit break generation amount. Not really useful. Not really useful. This one seems crazy, so we'll buy this one.
You'll not find a better price than that.
Finished, are you?
Alright. Let's go and grab this. What else did we have here? These were just different pieces. Yeah, you know what? Channeler's Whispers just seems like the best thing. Ignition damage by 12% is also probably pretty good. You can't equip two accessories of the same type. Gotcha. Interesting. Ignition damage then might be good. I don't know. Oh, I have a ton more than I thought. Oops. Yeah, we'll do that for now. I'm not too worried.
Clive, you're back. You didn't happen to run out of potions while you're away, did you? We've a fine selection of tonics and tinctures. Oh, perhaps you'd be interested in some new gear.
Alright.
Clive.
Alright, let's really
Clive,
quickly
would it be?
use the forge. 11 bolt. That seems pretty good. That's just reinforcing stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and 11 bolt.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
And reinforce. Can we reinforce 11 volt bolt? We cannot. No point, no point. A lot of these just don't seem particularly great, so it's fine. Nice. Alright, so we got 11 bolt. That's rad. What else is there? Clive's Chambers, Wall of Memories. That's interesting. No side quests yet, so let's just go ahead and off limits. That means you. Alright, let's just head back to quest then. Talk to Otto.
Clive, is everything all right?
I mean, you're the one that seemed to want to talk. Nectar? You wonder what the new board is behind me, alright? All in good time, my furthest friend, all in good time.
Ah, there you are, Clive. Word of your adventures arrived this morning. Victor sent his thanks.
I doubt Kupka will miss the fools he sent to catch me. Not a single one of the bearers we saved showed any interest in coming with us. No one seems keen to join hands with an outlaw. Any news while we were away?
None worth mentioning. Gav's still off keeping an eye on the Republican army. Should be back any day now.
Understood. If anyone needs me, I'll be in the map room.
Still can't work that one out. There must be better places than the hull of a gutted airship to bury your nose in a book.
Yet this is where she's chosen to be. And I'm sure she has her reasons.
Alrighty. I mean, I don't know, it's a pretty nice map room. It's got a nice lookout onto the vista, so it's not really like she's hiding away.
I'd trust I'm not intruding.
Who's this?
Back from your mission? I'm beginning to think your habit of surviving cannot be attributed to luck alone.
One might say the same of you. Vivian Ninetails.
I'll have you know that only 4 attempts have been made on my life, and none was especially memorable. So, to what do I owe the honor? Could it be that you've come for one of my lessons?
Is that so hard to believe?
Very well then. Shall we start with the state of the realm? To absolutely no one's surprise, she finds herself at the mercy of armies and outlaws. Well, mostly armies. Though that's not for want of trying, is it, Clive? But the real question is, how did we get here?
Oh, I meant to talk to Blackthorn. Oops, we'll have to do that after this.
Long though, Sunbreak.
Before this... dang, I wanted to see who Vivian was.
Dominion over northeastern storm has endured. Recent days have seen the Blight wrest ever more land from her grasp. For which reason, she has continued to wage war on her rival across the strait, hoping to claim less blackened pastures. But Odin would sooner pawn his sword than Waloed relinquish Ash. And the Empire pays dearly for every blade of grass bent beneath Sambrequois boots. Little wonder then that Sylvester set his sights on the crystalline Dominion, an altogether easier target, possessed of no less ether. It was 5 years ago, while you were busying yourself with the destruction of Drake's head, that the Empire made its move, subjugating its theretofore neutral neighbor. A nation which could legitimately claim to be the center of the world. Certainly, there is no better place to stage an army. From there, the Holy Empire's reach spans the Twins. The non-aggression treaty was the only thing keeping them in check. But if they truly broke the pact without provocation, it is only a matter of time before others reply in kind. The Holy Empire, the Dhalmekian Republic, the Kingdom of Waloed, and of course, our friends in Yaran. Who will be left standing, I wonder, when the last drop of blood is spilled?
You were born in Twinside.
Alright, Vivian Ninetails. A scholar and strategist who makes her home in the hideaway, analyzing every shred of information that comes in from the wider world in order to divine the dispositions of the realm's armies and those who lead them. She offers her insight to Clive that he might better understand the lay of the land. The moniker Ninetails, of which she herself is fond, was gifted to her by her fellow scholars in recognition of her ability to speak at length on almost any subject. Either that or she's a kitsune. She's a furry. Established under the leadership of Clive Rosfield, who took on the title of Cid after his former leader's passing, Titan's destruction of the old hideaway here, Titan's destruction of the old hideaway. Here, a community of like-minded individuals from across the realm have gathered to build a place where they can live and die on their own terms. Like its predecessor, it is built within fallen ruins, deep within the deadlands of Central Storm. Decidedly unlike its predecessor, however, it is located in the center of a lake, Ben Amir, across whose waters any invading enemy can easily be spotted long before their arrival. It's actually a good point.
Do you not fear for your home?
Oh, dark clouds are wont to gather over the Dominion. Yet in spite of it all, she has ever endured. And when the storm has passed, I am confident she will remain. Now,
I like this character.
As to the matter of payment for today's lesson, complete a simple errand for me and we shall consider ourselves even.
Even? Right.
Return this volume to old tomes in the shelves. Tell him it was, adequate.
Okay.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to visit our resident historian.
So, the other thing I wonder about is if that is... or not if that is, where Cid's daughter is, because we learned he had a daughter.
Lady Tyre is performing a delicate operation and must not be disturbed.
So I'm curious where she's at. Because that seems like a lingering thread. Compendium on Rosarian verse. The rills run red with brave men's blood, and the talons flow and flood, then out to sea. But those same souls, whose souls are touched by flames and phoenix claws, are clutched, and ne'er shall die. So dry thine eyes, thy groom is gone, but in thy babe his light lives on, and so shall he.
I had some help, but it was mostly luck. The others...
just like a reading room, tavern area.
No one works longer or harder than our Otto. You can scour the whole of Storm and Ash, and you won't find a better man.
Someone has a crush. Alright. Book of Sums. Old Farmer Otto keeps both chocobos and antelopes. After 5 of his stock fell ill, he put them in his barn to rest. However, Otto woke the next morn to discover that a leg eater had found its way into the barn and devoured 3 of the limbs on one of his antelopes. To make certain all remaining legs were accounted for, he did a tally and was satisfied when he counted 13. How many chocobos were in the barn? Let's see. 7? Right? Because it's six legs. Oh wait, no. This is about antelope. 5 of his stock fell ill. He put the barn to rest. There were 5 of the stock in the barn. It's antelopes and chocobo. Antelope have 4 legs. Chocobo have 2. So, there is, so out of 5, one of the antelope only has 1 leg. So if they're evenly split, that would be 4 chocobo legs and 5 antelope legs. And that doesn't work, because that would be 9. Right? Oh no, that would be 4 total. Let's do the math here. So it's only one of the antelopes that had its legs bitten off, right? So we know one of them must be antelopes, so then there are 4 creatures we have to account for. So it's 3 antelopes, 2 chocobo, because that's 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11, plus 2 is 13. So yeah, there were 2 chocobo and 3 antelopes, right? Did I do that right?
Shirley says I can't go and play until I finish my sums.
Ah, Sid. We were just about to start our next lesson. You're welcome to join us, but be warned. I tolerate absolutely no tomfoolery.
Good day to you, Sid.
Yeah, I think that's right? So, yeah. Let's see.
Nearly half the crates were lost to mountains.
Oop, that's not the right way.
This plank will have to be replaced.
Let's talk to Blackthorn now, because I wanted to talk to him about the things that happened in the 5 years.
What do you need? Thinks you ain't too bad.
I suppose. I've got a decent hammer and a decent anvil and an apprentice that knows his hammer from his cock. Oh, and the furnace is alright and all, thanks to old Sid's bellows. The gods only know how I'd keep the coals hot enough out here on the Mere without them. Not with bloody crystals, that's for sure. Now, I reckon you won't find a forge like this anywhere else on the Twins, and I count myself lucky to work it. Thanks for keeping me on. You need anything, you give us a shout.
You've forgotten already, because I haven't.
It was a right pain in the arse getting this place into shape, especially with the mess we're in. Not that it was anything new for those of us who put the old hideaway together.
Still.
That don't mean I don't intend on doing it again. Or that I intend on doing it again. Interesting. Okay.
If you told me you could fire a forge without a crystal or a bearer before I came here, I'd have taken you for a madman. But no, here it is.
The secret's in the bellows, you know.
They're Master Sid's own design. The other Master Sid.
It seems kind of interesting to keep up the charade there, but I won't judge it too hard.
Have we any more?
Call off the orchestrion here. There you go. That's all marked off now. Don't need to worry about it. Good old Harpocrates. Look at all this info.
Oh, Tome said the hideaway is built inside an airship. Said it was called the Invincible.
Oh, of course it is. That's another old classic Final Fantasy reference.
Lawsman Harpocrates.
Now that is a name I have not heard for a long time. So long, in fact, I had half forgotten it was mine. Welcome home, Clive. You were missed, as always.
I believe this belongs to you. Vivian asked me to return it.
Ready? Our resident scholar devours books faster than young Tet does lemon tarts. Would that I could do the same, but alas, I no longer possess the necessary constitution for such indulgence, either in words or tarts. That said, I have continued my search for mention of the creature you encountered at Drake's Head, but without access to the great libraries of Oriflamme or the Dominion, I regret that I have been able to find little and less. I am sorry.
Please, don't apologize. I'll send word to our associates. See if they can't furnish you with more books.
I fear it is not more books that I require, but the right ones. Mayhap we look in the wrong places. There are still libraries to the north.
I'll see what I can do.
You are too kind. There are not many in this world who would indulge the whims of a tired old historian.
Not too tired to go filching Kupo nuts, though. Always got a pocket for him. Nicks him off the Moogle.
Hush now. We all know there's no such thing as Moogles.
The twins seem well.
Aye. Yet they laugh far too little for one so young. The loss of their parents weighs heavy on them, however well they hide it. Titan took much from us that night, from some more than others, and the wounds that remain, they are not quick to heal.
Which is why we must give them all the time they need.
That we must. Just as I must give you the time you need to recuperate. Good day, Clive.
Good day. Gav will be back soon. I should get some rest while I can.
Gav is alive! Yay! Let's see. He has taken the orphan twins Tet and Crow as apprentices, so they have yet to prove the most attentive audience. Crow, one of a pair of young twins who assist Harpocrates in the hideaway library, or at least are tasked to. In practice, she spends most of her time reading books and teasing tomes with her brother Tet. Born a bearer like her parents, but spared the prejudice and persecution that they were forced to suffer, alas, she was not spared the tragedy of losing both her mother and father when Sid's hideaway was laid low. Though their parents were both bearers, Tet was spared the burden. All right, same exact thing. Let's talk to Harpocrates really quickly just to level up our lore.
Knowledge is yours.
Oh, he's actually got some information too. Right, let's do
I
this
have
real quick.
compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
I don't think we're gonna really catch up on them. We've been pretty good about reading as many of them as we can. Like, we probably don't need to read Sid's, Otto's, we know everything about him, Charon. Joshua Rosfield, dominant of the Phoenix and former heir to the ducal throne, Joshua was thought to have died at the hands of the second Eikon of Fire during the disaster of Phoenix Gate. However, he is very much alive, traveling the realm even now, his true identity hidden by a heavy cowl and assumed name, that of Lord Margrace. Again, these are easy, we just have to go through them and mark them as red, because we know everything about these characters. Obolus, an old friend of Otto's from his merchant seaman days, now serving as ferryman between the shores of Benamir and Clive's hideaway. Knowing him to be a trustworthy and tight-lipped fellow, Otto invited him to join their cause after Sid's death, that he and his trusty skiff might help them build and operate their new hideaway on a lake. Ultima. This is what I wanted to read. So it is Ultima. Interesting. Another worldly being that Clive encountered in the inner sanctum of Drake's Head. He addressed Clive as Mythos before attempting to merge their consciousnesses. However, Clive was able to summon the will to resist the creature before Joshua returned from the dead to imprison it in a cage of flame that he sealed away in his own heart. How very Kingdom Hearts. Benamir, a lake in the Blighted Lands on the southern edge of the former Grand Duchy of Rosaria, named for the dragon that some tales say created the basin where it fell from the sky. Fallen airships dot its expansive waters like forgotten cenotaphs, leading some to liken it to a graveyard. Its remote location, far from any trade route and deep inside the Deadlands, make it an obvious choice for Clive when faced with rebuilding Sid's legacy. One thing I wanted to note, just on the topic of Ultima, is that I looked it up, and Typhon is an old boss in Final Fantasy. He shows up in Final Fantasy VII, I believe, and I think his name has a typo in it in English, but I don't know for sure. And that's why I don't think I recognized it. But he is in it, and he's like a weird floating head thing. We already heard about the conquest of Twinside. Oriflamme has since fallen gradually into decline, having lost a mother's blessing and all the benefits it brought. Because of our crystal, Drake's Head, it fell at the hand of Sid the Outlaw. Fall of Drake's Head, let's read this one. In the year 873, Sid the Outlaw, along with certain of his allies, odd way to phrase that, infiltrated the Samberqua capital of Oriflamme, bringing down its mother crystal in a daring and unprecedented attack. Investigations after the fact concluded that the infiltrators took advantage of the disturbance caused by an ether flood to gain entry to the Empire's holy sanctum. In the aftermath of the incident, Sid was declared a wanted man, and the faction he led a criminal enterprise to be hounded across Valisthea. Northreach. With the fall of Drake's Head, the ether was soon leached from the lands around it, leaving the fields fallow and the once thriving environs barren and lifeless. See, this is confusing to me because I thought we destroyed it because we thought that the mother crystals were causing the leaching, but it doesn't seem like that's the case if we destroyed Drake's Head and then the blight continued. Glorious key strategic point. Oh yeah, we already knew that. That's between Karen Norvent. We now know the Dhalmekian Republic is responsible for some atrocities. Hunting down Sid. Kingdom of Waloed. Somewhat surprisingly, the Samberqua Empire's incursion into the Crystalline Dominion prompted no immediate response from the king, who appears to be biding time and considering his next move. While controversial, the move, carried out by the Prince Dion and his Knights Dragoon, proceeded mostly unopposed, largely due to the Dominion's lack of a dominant of its own with which to intimidate the interlopers. Non-aggression treaty, a pact which was codified in agreement to refrain from invading the Crystalline Dominion, cemented the Dominion's position in the center of world politics and placed checks on the ability of key players to exploit that position. Unfortunately, it did not seem to really check it completely. Which one of these did I miss checking off? Oh, Fall of the Hideaway. Valisthea. Alright, Heart of the Mother Crystal. Brightly shining convolution of shards, it sits at the center of each mother crystal. When a heart shatters, so too does the mountain around it. Since time immemorial, sanctuaries have been built around these hearts for worship and protection. Crystal Black Market we learned about. Magic Bearers. Some dominants have the ability to call upon a part of their icon's powers to summon a ward, a nigh impervious barrier. Oh, barriers, not bearer. It's just telling us about magic. Ethereal Tolerance is the ability for dominants and bearers to survive concentrations of ether. Ether floods are pools of concentrated ether. Let's see. Priming, we already knew about. Slave Masters, we already knew about. Airship, we already knew about. Beasts are animals whose evolution has been warped by exposure to ether, some getting the ability to cast magic. Unlike bears, however, they seem to have developed little ethereal tolerance, so it is not uncommon to encounter Akashic beasts in the vicinity of ether floods. Wild beasts are sometimes tamed by humans for use in warfare. The soldiers of Sanbreque have particular fondness for those descendants of ancient dragons. Cid the Outlaw, leader of the faction believed to be responsible for the shattering of Drake's head in 873. With this single act of infamy, Cid's name quickly spread to the four corners of Valisthea. Vessel, a name that the being known as Ultima gives to Clive. It appears to be synonymous with mythos. The name by which Ultima addresses Clive. It appears to be his title for the vessel for limitless power that he means to make the young Lord Marquess. But to what end he requires such a thing, only Ultima knows. Yeah, here we go. Typhon. Seemingly drawn to the destruction of the heart of Drake's head, Ultima emerged from a tear in reality wearing the skin of Typhon, a withered and wizened colossus, and drew Clive into a space between worlds wherein the ethereal entity might test his worth as a vessel. We already knew about Rama. Raptors. Still widely believed by the common folk of Sanbreque to be the descendants of dragons on account of their leathery wings, meagerness of plumage, and distinct ability to spit fire. Learned scholars have long since concluded that these deceptively reptilian creatures are none other than birds of prey, which over countless centuries of hunting creatures on the ground have simply lost their capacity for flight. Vultures. Opportunistic avians that, like many other predatory birds, prefer to stealthily swoop down on foes from above and skewer them with their razor-sharp beaks. Though they are thought to primarily feed on carrion, traveling in large flocks in search of the dead and dying, it's not uncommon for vultures to attack living prey when times are lean. If you happen to hear their eerily human-like caws, squarks, and warbles, it is best to find cover quickly. Ganets. Lesser dragons known for their nimbleness in flight. The specimens of the Sanbrequois subspecies, known more commonly as the worm or worm, are somewhat easily tamed and as such are widely employed in battle by imperial legions. Panthers. Archetypal predators known best for their brilliant spotted coats and proclivity to lives of solitude. As is the case with most felines, the animals are severely strong-willed, and efforts by the Republican Army to harness their inborn speed and ferocity for use on the battlefield has been met with varying degrees of success. Alrighty.
The door to the shelves shall ever be open.
So we cleared that out. That's good. We don't need to worry about that for now. I feel like we're up to speed. There hasn't been any major updates on that, really. Ooh, the bard.
Not back a blink and you're already off solving everyone's problems. It looks good, Clive. Goes well with the scowl.
I'd had that brand for so long. I'd forgotten what life was like without it. What it was like to be myself. And it's all thanks to you, Talia.
The scalpel did most of the work. Before I forget, a rider was here with a letter from Gav. Otto left it on your desk.
Not a Stolas. All right, I'll have a look.
And then you get some rest.
What could Gav have thought worthy of a letter?
Have you been to the toll? I hear a new shipment's just arrived.
Missives, the reading table. Reports, letters, and other important missives addressed to Clive are delivered to the reading table in his chambers. New messages are always arriving, so make a point to check the reading desk upon returning to the hideaway. Republic's play. The Republican army marches on the Empire at Twinside, and the men of the Rock have been summoned to the front. Something big is brewing, I reckon. I'll see you're done to wear upon my return. Ah, he's missing his eye, but still cool. What is that? Is that Gav's signature? What language do they speak in? That doesn't look like it says Gav at all. I guess maybe it's just like really fancy cursive? Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Weird.
What does Gav have to say?
The Republican army is on the march, leaving Randalar in Hugo Kupka's charge. With him and his men occupied with the defense of the capital, they're less likely to trouble us.
Good news, then.
It's more than that. This is our chance. The one we've been waiting for.
But look how far we've come. All that we have here, our friends, the hideaway, are they not cause for joy?
5 years. 5 long years. If I could only command this power I've been granted, we might have achieved so much more. But each time I reach for it, it's like something is holding me back.
Summoning an Eikon exacts a price not easily paid.
Your body knows this only too well. It's merely trying to save you from yourself.
And every burden I cannot bear falls to you.
This mission of ours has made me question everything I thought I knew. But one thing has become abundantly clear. The crystals take more than they give. In exchange for momentary comfort, we must endure a lifetime of pain, war after war, loss upon loss. And now they rob us of our very homes, leaving naught but dust and ash. But you're trying to change that. We're trying to change that. And to me, that's no burden.
I know, but...
Try not to forget. We're only here because Joshua gave us a second chance. It would be a pity to waste such a precious gift.
He did. He was there. It wasn't an illusion.
Ooh, frame rate.
I heard him call out to Ultima. If Joshua is still alive, he'll be looking for that thing.
Do you think he will ever come back?
I know he will. And we must be ready when he does. To a world without mother crystals.
There's something really funny about them toasting right here. I don't know, it's genuinely amusing to me. It seems like a little bit weirdly inappropriate. Whoa, what a glow up. Companion and protector of Joshua Rosfield, dominant of the Phoenix, as loyal as she is dangerous, her blade is ever at the ready for any who might mean her master ill. Her tonics at hand to heal the sickly prince's hurts. Joshua addresses her by the name Yote, or Joti, but it's unclear whether this is her true name or another pseudonym. I like her design a lot. I just like the way she looks. She's cool. Northern Territories. Bitterly cold corner of the storm's most northerly reaches, the loose collection of nations that sprang up around the region's erstwhile mother crystal, Drake's Eye, were united and pacified by Archduke Elwin Rosfield of Rosaria in year 854. However, in the years following Rosaria's annexation by the Empire, a combination of both the Blight's inexorable advance and Sambrecht's lack of interest in the territories has only worked to quicken the area's destabilization. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else new about Joshua.
And so the North is lost.
I knew that the Blight spread ever more swiftly, Your Grace. But this is far, far worse than any could have imagined.
It is only a matter of time before the twins are no more. The world marches ever closer to its end, and here we chase shadows. Tell me, brother, are our efforts in vain?
Joshua's cool. I like Joshua. And I like his companion. She seems neat.
Master Clive, a moment, if you... my apologies, I didn't mean to... intrude.
Not at all. We were just
discussing strategy.
Speak freely, Otto.
It's Martha, from the inn. She's gone missing. Anyway, I'll be in the mess when you've finished.
Very well.
Not Martha.
What would make Martha leave the rest?